Hi there, and welcome to the 2016 America's Winter Championship final game. It's the final game of the final match, and the winner will go through to the grand finals. Unfortunately, my fellow commentators have been taken ill, so I'm just going to have to wing it, and the players are ready to start. So ZenStyle, we know, is from last year a really strong player, but he's not been doing much recently. We see him here playing with the Tempo Mage, and Puffin, who recently won the Innkeeper Showdown tournament, is playing Rogue. So personally, I believe that the Tempo Mage is a slight favourite for this match, but we all know the Rogue players. Rogue players, they just don't ever think they are going to lose. They think they can beat anything with Rogue. And there we go, the greeting. Is it a BM? We'll find out. So, both players with really powerful hands here. ZenStyle has the Mana Worm, the ability to make it bigger. He has the Sorcerer's Apprentice that can make things cheaper. Puffin also has a handful of mass removal and weapon buffs. This match is all about tempo. Both players will be looking to get the board and keep it. And the player who establishes the most board presence and keeps it there will be the player that wins. As I said at the start, ZenStyle, we haven't seen much of him recently. And something that we've noticed already is how quickly he's playing in this match. Sometimes when you're really nervous in a match, you play too quickly, and that can cause the occasional slip, which maybe costs you a game or two. Although, you're playing okay so far, keeping back the coin, keeping back the Mana Worm. To buff both Mana Worms was his plan. Obviously now he's going to have to buff one. As we see the players trading back and forth, trying to just be the guy who keeps something on the board. And just deciding what to do with that coin. He's deciding to keep it back so that he can buff the Mana Worm if it's not dead. Puffin, just taking a moment to have a think. He does know if he uses this Tinker's Oil that he's not getting massive value out of it, but he will be able to then get back control of the board next turn with his 4-1 weapon. And it goes back to what I was saying. ZenStyle has been missing from the circuit for a while, not been doing too well when we have seen him pop up. Puffin, on the other hand, last week only winning that Innkeeper Showdown tournament, being on a bit of a roll, and you can see that he's willing to take his time, have a think what he's doing, and just plan his moves a bit more carefully. And that could be a massive factor in this match. And yeah, he just chooses in the end to use that Tinker's Oil, and we have to see what ZenStyle wants to do about it. And that's not a great hand for him here. Okay, so he's choosing to play the Mirror Image and the Mirror Entity, which means that whatever gets copied will be safe behind those taunts. That's a really good play. He'll be expecting a Farseer or something like that. He'll also know that an Azure Drake would be okay to trade, and hopefully top deck into something better. Puffin there, playing into the Mirror Entity. He wants to be able to attack that Sludge Belcher with his 4-1 weapon, and so electing to play that instead of the Azure Drake. As we see ZenStyle's hand here, it can deal with the Sludge Belcher. But after that, he's going to really struggle. He's not going to want to coin out Antonidas, because he's going to want to use the coin to get a Fireball from the Antonidas, so he's going to be praying for a good top deck. Meanwhile, Puffin's hand is starting to develop nicely. He can take down this Sludge Belcher now and develop an Azure Drake, and he's choosing to draw his card first, like all good players should. And just taking a moment again, have a think, make sure he's settled, and represent maybe he has something to do, although what that would be on 1 mana, I'm not so sure. That's just the top deck Zen was looking for. Unstable Portal, he'll be hoping to get something interesting. And he gets Kel'Thuzad, so that's going to allow him, if he can get it down and sequence correctly, to get Kel'Thuzad on the board and start trading minions in, and they won't die. With these 3 taunts, Puffin's going to be in a lot of trouble if he can't deal with those things. So, going into turn 7 here, that's interesting. He's thinking of playing the Lotheb. Like, turn 7 is usually an Archmage or a Dr. Boom turn for Zen. And so playing the Lotheb is a way of occupying the board, and he's decided that's important. But he does know that next turn is unlikely to be a spell. And so the Lotheb is there purely for tempo purposes. And he is slowly building up his hand. He has that Flurry to clear. He has Eviscerate to pick up something big. He has the Deadly Poison to make the Flurry bigger. So he won't be panicking. On the other side, ZenStyle's hand is looking to be pretty amazing. Very high power level of cards. Choosing to ping the Azure Drake there, which is interesting because if he'd chosen to ping the Lotheb, he would actually be challenging both minions. Just see how that pans out shortly. Puffin again taking his time, planning this out, and this is where using that early preparation might come back to haunt him, because now he's having to sprint and basically miss a turn. Although, with the hand he has and with the board he has, then missing a turn is not so bad. ZenStyle thinking about that coin by the look of things. Is he going to get a fireball off it, or is he going to... What's he going to do next turn? He's just planning ahead there. And yeah, Puffin deciding that he is going to take out everything on the board here. And that's going to work out pretty nicely for him because of this Kel'Thuzad, you would think. Choosing not to keep his 4-2 and 5-1 alive because they're so weak if you leave minions with low toughness. So he's keeping the one big minion on the board and trying to preserve that board control, as we keep talking about. Difficult turn for ZenStyle here. He has a lot of options. He may well... Oh, okay. He chooses to play the Kel'Thuzad because as a 6-8 minion, it is just a big threat. And if Puffin wants to trade into it with his weapon and his 5-5, he'd be down to 13 life. And 13 against a mage is a low number to be on. ZenStyle there, you know, maybe bluffing that he has a fireball, or maybe just trying to set up for the Archmage Antonida's play anyway. And Puffin having none of it though. Again, going for the tempo, just using the sap, buy some time. And ZenStyle has a handful of heavy minions here. He's going to be able to get 2 fireballs into his hand here and set up a counterspell. That should protect him from any immediate danger. But with the rogue having the board, damage comes thick and fast. Puffin may want to just backstab here to test for counterspell. It might be a thing he does. He's seen 1 mirror, so you quite often see 2 mirrors and 1 counterspell in this deck. And he'll be interested, maybe, he'll be looking at it as maybe a 50-50. So maybe he'll just burn a backstab on this play. And that looks like what he's going to do. He's playing the Blood Mage, so if the backstab goes through, it does extra damage. And it's going to be countered, but now he can use his other backstab. And the Eviscerate or a trade, it's up to him really, how he wants to go about this. There's a lot of options to pull off this Antonidas and get it rid of the board. And then it's just going to be absolutely one-way traffic, unless ZenStyle can maybe... What would he be able to get? Maybe a Flame Strike or something? He has a handful of things, but this is what we talk about when we talk about tempo. A handful of things is not much use if they're not doing anything. He is going to have the chance to still win this game, but he's going to have to find a way to deal with all that stuff on the board. Maybe get some lucky Flamewaker hits. And Puffin not messing around. He's using all of his mana that he can here, apart from burning the Blade Flurry, to put ZenStyle down to 6. And Zen's going to need to have some good rolls here to stay alive, even 1 more turn. He is going to be able to protect this Flamewaker. He is going to be able to ping something. But his hand is just too clunky. Puffin's that half a step ahead all the time. And ZenStyle's starting to BM here. I think he knows he's in trouble. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for Zen. He's just somebody we'd like to see well. We know that he's good at this, and I don't know. He's just going to have to try yet again to get back on his feet. Unless he can top deck maybe. Oh, what could he even top deck here? I can't think of a good top deck for him to get through this. Yeah. And that's a pretty sad sight for Zen. See what he gets. There may be a way out I haven't thought of. He gets the Conjurer, so he's going to get a chance to draw maybe a... Blizzard's not enough. No, and that's going to be the end. And we're going to see Puffin progressing to the Grand Finals. And ZenStyle yet again missing out. But let's hand it to Puffin. He's done so well in his recent run. And we should be seeing a lot more of him. So tune into those Grand Finals when they're on to see how Puffin gets on. And who knows when we'll see ZenStyle again. Hopefully this will... Getting this close will hopefully encourage him to get back on the horse and start building back up. So... Hope you enjoyed that game, and we will see Puffin in the Grand Finals later in the year. Tune in for that. Let's see if he can go all the way. And as I keep saying, ZenStyle, let's see when his next tournament is. Let's see if he can build on this performance. Let's see if he can get something positive out of this eventually. You know, when he's calmed down, he'll be upset today. He'll be upset all week. Maybe next week he'll get back on. He'll get some bigger tournaments. Maybe he'll just be able to win. Let's find out and see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.